Hello and welcome. In this video I will present to you a non-mainstream sorceress build that works fantastic and can be played very cheap. Whoever likes to try something new won't have to spend too much. This sorceress is also a nice option for ladder start because she has no struggle with immune monsters, so she can farm lots of areas. Well, let's start. The Sorc will need enough strength and dexterity for her equipment, all remaining points go into vitality. Later on, better equipment will save lots of stat points for more vitality. Now the skill tree. Warmth and enchant will be maximized, fire mastery gets 1 point at first, but more points can be spent here later. In the lightning tree we need static field, telekinesis and teleport, 1 point each. In the cold section, 1 point to frozen armor and cold mastery. Ice bolt and frozen orb will get 20 points. Ice bolt will be skilled out last. Depending on situation, you can decide to skill further points in fire mastery before or after. Fire will be the primary element. The cold damage just has to be high enough that handling fire immune monsters is no big deal. All in all, the skill tree looks like that. Before having a look at the equipment, we will clarify some basic things. The Sorc will need high skill levels for more damage. Also, items that increase fire skill damage or reduce enemies' fire resistance will increase her damage output. She's a ranged fighter and she will use bows and arrows or a crossbow in her primary weapon slot. Of course, she uses static field against bosses and for double immune monsters. This sorceress deals fire and cold damage and a little bit of physical damage, but it is too low for making life and mana leech or deadly strike work effectively, so we don't need that on the equipment. Crushing blow does not depend on the physical damage value, so it can be useful. Beside further life points and good resistances, the Sorc also has to care about cast rate and attack speed. Here you can see her breakpoints. At least 62% FCR should be played for fast teleporting. If you can afford, go to 105. Looking at the attack speed, 12 frames are okay, but 11 or 10 are better of course. We can see there is one type of crossbow with a very fast base speed, so it is very easy to get 11 frames, but this also is the limit for crossbows. Using bows and arrows you can speed up to 9 frames, but pretty much IAS will be needed. This low budget version uses an upgraded demon machine with the Shail rune or an IAS jewel. Chukonu and demon crossbow both just need 8% IAS for maximum attack speed. This unique weapon also has explosive shots and 66% chance for piercing attacks, so you can hit multiple monsters, which can make this build more effective than a simple fireball Sorc. Good resistances can be attained by skin of the Viper Mage and a Rock Stopper, and if you can afford, 2 runes for the sockets. Viper Mage also has 30% FCR and +1 to all skills. The gloves are Mage Fist for 20% more FCR and +1 to fire skills. The belt is a razor tail. The 33% pierce will add up with the weapon to 99%. Then I use goblin toes here because they have 25% crushing blow, but you could also use some boots with some resistances here instead. An amulet with +3 to fire skills can be found or gambled quite soon, so this should be no big deal. Use a Raven Frost if you have, because this Sorc does not want to get frozen, and it also will increase her attack rating. The second ring slot can be used for further resistances. In the second weapon slot we use a Spirit Monarch and Wizard Spike or a Spirit Sword. In that slot the resistances should look fine yet. We will use it for teleporting and casting Frozen Orb, because we've got more skill level and cast rate here. Enchanting the weapon also should be done in this weapon slot, and because we can do that in town, we also could put on some more skill levels from stash just for enchanting. A leaf staff with +3 to enchant also is a nice tool here. When using bows and arrows, more IAS will be needed, so a useful armor would be treachery with 45%, it also increases resistances when Fate is triggered. Further attack speed maybe could be added by a High Lords or maybe some IAS gloves. A cheap bow that works fine is Kuko Shakaku. Just like the demon machine, it fires exploding arrows that also get boosted by our fire mastery, and they cause area damage. Which, while String and Widowmaker are also some playable bows, they are a bit less effective because they don't have exploding arrows, but they can fire basic attacks without consuming arrows. In the high budget class there is the Runework brand. Best bases are Demon Crossbow, Blade Bow and Great Bow. Further options can be Chains of Honor with +2 skills and 65 all-res, or a nice rolled Ormus. Harlequin Crest, Crown of Ages and Flickering Flame are some useful helmets. Arachnid Mesh and Bulkato's Wedding Band can add some more skill points, and of course Ani-Torch and Skill Charms also will do. Now let's look at the gameplay. The low budget version has pretty few life, so keep the monsters on distance. The shown damage is not too high, especially the code damage, but practically it is high enough to kill monsters fast enough. Physical ranged fighters and fast monsters are most dangerous, so pay attention. Farming Andariel and Mephisto is quite easy, that's just what we expect from any Sorc. But also farming Diablo is no big struggle. If the Venom Lord's fire still hurts too much, use a Nokazan relic here. Basically, all level 85 areas can be farmed, but most comfortable are those which don't contain dangerous monsters, for example the Arachnid Lair. Stony Tomb and Ancient Tunnels are also very soft. I also like the ice dungeons. Souls and witches should not be such a problem when you have fixed your resistances, and there are not too many of them at once. But watch out for snakes and lords. Other farming spots like Secret Cow Level, Arcane Sanctuary and several more are also valid options. For effectively farming Bale, you will have to improve your equipment, but at least it is possible to fight through all the game with this build. Higher budget gear will make you able to farm anything you like, but even there I prefer to stick to the demon machine. This Sorc maybe won't be such a fast farming char like some meta builds, but the gameplay is a lot of fun and has some nice advantages. You also could hire some mercenary, in that case use a physical melee fighter from Act 2 or 5. I did not, because I personally prefer to play without a merc if possible, and I wanted to show that it is. In the future I will make an extra video just about mercenaries. I'm out for today, hope you enjoyed this content, have lots of fun and may the loot be with you.
Come on. Follow me.